So then yesterday I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he always like confirming stuff or giving me a word. Like 19 years old,
Hmm.
wonderful young man of God. So anyway, he I was telling him about it. He was like, "TK, what did you say it was called?" I said, producing consultant, consulting producer. He said, "TK, I'm going to send you something that I screenshot yesterday." I said, "Okay." Why did he send me the screenshot of consulting producer that he had looked up the same? He said, "When did you have that thought?" I said, "Yesterday." He said, "I'm going to send you something." He had
Mm.
looked it up and screenshot it on the same day that I had the thought. I was like, "Well, there you go." So I told
Yeah.
Dana, I said, because I told them I'm not working PA anymore. They were like, "This is my last PA set." Because Dana was like, "I got you in at $200 a day for the next project, T." And I said, "I'm not working PA no more. Like God told me I'm not working PA." So he was like, "Oh, okay. Well, what are you gonna do?" I said, "Make my film." But somebody else asked me, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "Make my films." Like I got stuff to do. But
Hmm.
now I understand that, yeah, I really do have something else to do. So now I got to figure out how to do it and how to charge people.
Yeah.
Because I know, I know I know I got to write down the job. Because Dana was like, "Cool, send me the job description." Because he wants, he's trying to put me on every like movie he says. So he's like, "Send me the job description." So I'm going to send him the job description. And these people definitely could have used my service. But I was thinking last night, I said, what I'm doing, what
Hmm.
you're calling me to do now, God, is really Michael's planner in person.
Right.
I was like, that's exactly what it is. So I was like, oh yeah, baby, you're gonna have to get you a planner so we can go over this. I can't.
Fill
Why
out
my
the
headphones
stuff.
not working? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, fill
Why
out the stuff, put
headphones
the
not working?
information in there.
Oh, I
Oh,
changed it.
definitely.
That's why, huh?
I said, yeah, fill out the stuff, put the information in there.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna tell them I think that's good for them to get so they can have it on hand.
mhm.
Absolutely, I recommend that. And okay, let me see if I can do this.
Good morning,
Hello,
Audrey. Um,
hey Audrey.
she just shared the video. That's why I know. Hey, thank you, Audrey.
Let me see if
We
I can
appreciate
share
you.
where it's live.
We appreciate you, Audrey. Thank you. Um, yeah, we're gonna be switching up the format a little bit with the show from here on out because we originally wanted to do this way, but I can be a little long winded. I have to be honest with myself. So TK is gonna keep me on track. Time is gonna keep me on track. But when we have guests, we may do the 90-minute thing because we definitely want the best out of our guests
Hmm.
for their time. But when it's just us, we're just here until 11. That's what we gonna do, or 11:01, maybe, but it's 11 today. Definitely, CK got somewhere to be.
10:59, 10:59 today.
10:59. That's why we came on a little early. Check out. But you know
Good
what?
morning.
So we're gonna do this because we're gonna go ahead and get it started because we got things to do, places to go, people to see.
People to see.
And hey, welcome to the Black Filmmakers Lounge. Where the Black Filmmakers Lounge is where interdependent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, come together to gain insight and perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black interdependent film community. Welcome to the Saturday morning indie industry shop talk. I'm your host, Michael Melvin, my co-host, Tamira T.K. Henderson. Or should I say, we're your hosts? Because I don't like the co-host because it's both of
He
us.
don't like the co-host guys, but it's co-host is like co-together.
I
It's
know, but it's just like the
it
host.
sound I know it's co-together, so it's fine. And
I
I have
know, but
no,
I just when
I
I
don't have my
hear it.
lipstick. Look, I don't have a lipstick on yet.
Oh yeah. So the Black
Look.
Filmmakers Lounge, we're creating our own space so that we can succeed together. So good morning, everybody. That's
Good
our tagline. If you
morning.
didn't know, us creating our own space so we, all of us, can succeed together. It is one of those wonderful days. As we always open up the show, we're going to talk about what you watching. TK, what you watch this week?
So I've been on set all week. So and I had to do a little script work this week as well. So, but I did watch a Soldier Story.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna be on set, so I made sure I watched it last
So you
weekend.
just watched
And
it.
of course, I watched the Super Bowl, which was a very, very, very good game.
Okay,
It was a
I will
very
be
good
honest.
game.
I fell asleep at halftime, and I woke up
Well,
going
you
into the
talking
fourth
about
quarter.
Rihanna?
Yeah, I mean the Super Bowl. I just fell asleep during halftime.
Oh,
Actually,
it
I
was such a
missed the
good game.
Tubi commercial, which everybody. But I went and saw the Tubi commercial
Which one
on
have everybody been to?
YouTube.
Okay.
It's the one when they started talking, the Fox guys, and then it switched
Oh,
to
now that was.
Tubi,
Let
and
me tell you,
people.
I knew that wasn't my favorite, but I was
Mhm.
away from the TV. I was standing like by the TV
Uh-huh.
because let me tell you, I don't miss not one Super Bowl commercial. Did y'all understand me? Not one Super Bowl commercial. That's who I am. I don't miss them. Not one. So I was standing next to the TV because I heard the commercial came on because of course you got to get your snacks, right? So
Mhm.
I ran back here and I was watching and the guy said, "It's a great game today." I said, "That's fake." Soon as like because they use like the sports cat like they use the guys like they were sportscasters,
Okay.
you know, speak what is it called? You know how they have the people talk about the game
Yeah,
while
yeah,
they're
yeah. The
playing
sportscasters, the commentators.
sportscasters. Okay. So they pretended they were them, but when they said it's been a great game so far, it was so generic.
Uh,
I said it's fake. And then that's when the thing did all this stuff. So I wasn't near the remote. But I mean, yes, everybody loved that one. My favorite was the freaking Jack Harlow commercial
okay.
with the triangles,
Mm-hmm.
the Doritos.
Yeah, everybody was talking about that one.
That was my favorite because since I don't have nothing to watch, I can talk about my two commercials. That was my favorite because literally at the end, when we knew he should have won the award, they gave it to Elton John. I laughed so freaking hard, I didn't know what to do. I was laughing so hard. I said, that's exactly how it happens. It was
Yeah.
so funny.
Well, my coworker, he's the music teacher at our school. He's a
Uh-huh.
band teacher, and he comes in my room and said, "You watch the Super Bowl? I know you watch Super Bowl. You know what my favorite commercial was? The Doritos commercial with triangles." I was like,
That
I
was funny.
figured.
And then the next one after that was when they tried to do uh not Ben Affleck, what's the other guy's name? Bradley Cooper and his mom. They tried
Yeah.
to do a T-Mobile commercial. They said this is what they were supposed to say, and every time they did all the bloopers. I love that because they just did the bloopers as a commercial.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love that. It was one more that I really liked, but those were the top two. Now I'm trying to remember which was the other one, but those were the top two, and then but there was one more that look I had wrote it down. Okay, it's on my Facebook, but anyway, it was one more, but those were my top two. But it was one more right after that. The E-Trade baby commercial where they had the babies getting married.
That was funny. That was
I
actually
love that. And they were like, and then we went up there and it was a different stroller. Like, so that was funny.
Yeah,
Like,
that was
somebody
funny.
had
That
too
was
much
fun.
milk. Yeah, that was
it
really
was
cute. So those were my top three commercials. Yeah, but the triangle, I
E-
cracked up laughing so hard. I was like, shut up.
E-Trade always
Award goes
has
to Elton John.
those commercials. Like the thing about E-Trade, I will say, is they have, to me, they have had the best commercials over the years. It's with the E-Trade baby.
Yeah, that was good. So what
Um,
did you watch?
I watched. Of course, I watched The Soldier Story. I've watched The Bad Batch on Disney Plus. I started watching the Wu-Tang Saga on Hulu. So I got through the first.
Was it all back?
Two. Yeah,
Like the
I
last
think
season?
it's. I don't know if it's every single episode because there's a new one that comes on, but I think I missed two, so I caught that.
Okay.
So that was what I did, and just been hanging out on YouTube land, watching stuff. Yeah.
And I want to Moon Girl.
Oh yeah, I've been
wanna
watching
watch
Moon
that.
Girl and Devil Dinosaur. Like they
Is it?
release all of them on the Disney Plus,
It's
but
a
I had
series.
started watching last week. It's a series. I started watching it when it came
Oh.
on Disney DX. So the first episode was like longer, and then the second episode was like 30 minutes, I think. And then I've watched pretty much, I think I'm at episode 6 or something. I got to an episode where she watches over the skate rink her parents own.
100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I like it.
They better,
I'm having
they
fun
get
with it.
mad.
I expect it to be fun. It's for kids, but I like Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. There's a comic book, so I'm waiting for the action figures. You know me.
Right. So it's
I'm gonna
2
collect my
episodes
black
released
action
so
figures.
far.
Yeah. Well, if you go to Disney Plus,
Oh.
you can watch more. You can watch
Guess
pretty
who?
much all of them.
Oh,
and
okay,
it's produced
okay.
by Lawrence Fishburne.
Composer Raphael Sadiq.
Right. Yeah. The music is great. I mean,
Sure it is.
Yeah, it's that. I like that show. I meant to say I've been watching that too. So I do apologize, but because I thought I told you about it, or I sent you the message.
So
'cause I
it says
thought it was
only
sending
2.
out
You
links.
said it's more than 2 episodes released?
If you're on Disney Plus, so on Disney DX, when I watched it, I've watched 3 episodes. When I went,
Okay.
when they released it on Disney Plus on the 15th of February, I got to episode 6. Like there's
Okay, perfect.
and there's
I'm
more.
I'm gonna watch it today.
I was like chilling. I was like, oh, okay. So I like the show. Of course it's for kids. So good morning, Darrell. Good morning, Valicia. Good morning,
Hey,
Tone.
good
Happy
morning.
birthday.
Tone, happy birthday.
So yeah.
Oh, I know you've been extremely busy. Hopefully you're able to take time today. Well, you're joining us, so that's good. So happy birthday. That's your birthday treat. Ha ha ha.
Oh, so I want to bring this up. I don't know if I brought it up last show. I don't think I did. That AMC is changing their price point, right? So they're going to change their seatings out, right? And by them changing their seating, they're going to charge more. So it's going to be like concert seating. You're going to pay more money for $2 more or something for the middle. But if you subscribe to them, then you'll pay less because you'll do the AMC monthly subscription where you see about 3 movies a week and it kind of averages out in price. Basically, you win. So it's kind of like forcing people, if you're not going to do, if you want to see movies and you want to sit in the middle and the best seats in the house,
like a
you
concert.
Pay more. Yeah, basically like a concert. I have a problem with that. And only reason I have a problem with that is this. I'm going to give you 2 stories. The story of the 2 theaters that I tend to go to, Regal and AMC. Regal, you pay the same price, you get the nice reclining chairs that are puffy, and you select your seating, and it's all the same price. And all the theaters have them, not just 1 or 2. All of them have those nice seatings, right? The massaging chair seating or whatever. They all got them. The problem with Regal was food. Their menu is horrible. They have a horrible food menu. Great seating, horrible food menu. People tend to go to the theater and they're going to sit for 2-3 hours to watch a movie like Marvel and all the, Avatar and stuff. They're going to buy some food. So they're going to go where the better menu is. AMC, horrible seating, because only you have to select a certain theater to get those seats. Not all the theaters have those seats. And then you have to, so you get the normal old theater seatings we had since we were kids. Like, they have those. Even with the IMAX one, they had that. I was like, hey, it's IMAX, but you got these seats? Come on, man. Even Regal is doing better than that. But Regal's menu is bad. AMC's menu in the middle. It's not great, but it's not as bad as Regal, right? And theaters are always already losing people because I can sit in the comfort of my home on a big screen TV with my surround sound, no distractions, phone can be off. I can pause and go to the bathroom. So I don't miss anything because I'm not going to pay $20 to miss something that's 3 hours long. I had to try to go see it again.
Part.
And then so Then on top of that, I choose my menu. Now with the
And it's
same,
cheap and my menu is cheap. My hot dogs
right,
are
my menu is
cheaper.
much cheaper because I can pick it up from a restaurant or I can cook and prepare.
I'm gonna pull it up
Now,
right now.
with movies being $29.99 or rental online, you invite some friends over, y'all cook some food together, or everybody bring some food or contribute. Uh, $29.99 is better than going to the theater.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up now. I just want to see what
It's on the Black Filmmakers Lounge plays the article. But yeah,
right. No,
because
I
it
know
was
the
a
article I'm
oh,
talking about. I want to see the price difference
okay.
in the
So
mhm.
that happened. Of course, certain companies streaming prices are going up. Paramount Plus has combined with Showtime, and they dropped my price. Actually, it was $14.99
Oh,
when I had Paramount Plus. Now they added the Showtime in. It's $11.99. So that's to get you, grab you in, and you know it's going to go back up. But perfect timing, right? Um, so because now you make them more competitive versus Disney, who just went up on their price. Netflix, who just is going up on their price because they're. I think we talked about this. They're going to charge. It's $5.99. They're going to charge if you're sharing your Netflix password extra. $5.99. So added to what you're already paying. So when you look at the big picture, you know, where's the money at? What's happening? Um, And like we said earlier, Tubi came into that Super Bowl. Fox is like, hey, you know, but I
ooh,
am.
Tubi filmmakers went crazy. They were like, "I told y'all I was on a good platform. What's up? Y'all want to talk about Tubi?" They were talking big noise
But
on
you
Facebook.
can't. But you got to be careful. Fox owns Tubi, and if you ever pay attention to Fox Record or anything that's news record, they always take the independent and the black content to build the audience, and then they start pushing you out or giving you the lesser money. Amazon did the same thing. So you got to get wise to. But I have noticed that Peacock has been taking on more independent black films just as
Oh,
well. So um, we have to make it work for us. That's what we got to think about.
Peacock. That might be a good stream. So I just pulled up AMC Theater for
Hmm.
tonight for 6:45 for Avatar.
Okay.
All the seats are $20.19. So I just did like the front seats, the back seats, the middle seat.
Hmm.
All of them are the same price. So I'm not sure when that if they have a particular
It hasn't
start
kicked in
date.
yet. It hasn't
Okay.
kicked in, but you're saying $20. Like that's crazy right there.
2019. Well, because this theater right here,
Hmm.
this is a one in a gentrified neighborhood that's really like it's a gentrified neighborhood theater. So
Okay.
like I can
The
go down the
money's there.
street. Yeah, it's another one I could go to down the street about 10 minutes
Hmm.
and they're half the price. Like I'm gonna literally pull up the same show. I'm gonna pull up a 6:15 show for this one. I'm gonna tell you
Hold
how
up.
much the seat is.
I had to show this real quick because Darrell watched a lot of movies. I
I
was like,
know.
wait, what?
ten
Brother, you
dollars.
had
It's half
time
price. If
today.
I
You
go
had time
down the
this week.
street 10 minutes, it's
Hmm.
it's it's half price. It's $10.49
So
for the
again,
same movie. Yeah,
and
it's because it's the different neighborhood.
and both now here's the thing, because this is where I say that AMC and Regal have all been missing their mark.
Mhm.
Independent films, black,
That
everybody, independent films. Because here's the thing: if independent filmmakers pushed more so to four-walling their films and getting them in different theaters, and the price is cheaper, but they're sharing the ticket money with the theater, see, now it becomes beneficial. So I know for a while, AMC was renting out the theater like 100 seats or whatever during COVID for like
right,
$100, right?
right.
Remember that? Um, so I think if they have a middle price point where okay, you got to put up 500 to cover the theater costs and the cleaning, and you sell the ticket at this cost. What I do want filmmakers to be careful of is understand your pricing, because what I find is um, no one's heard of you, no one's seen you. Keep this in mind, and you try to sell a movie ticket for $20. And that's
Well,
where,
you talking about for a premiere? Are we talking about for a premiere?
just to show your movie. But even everybody's a premiere. Like if you have multiple showings of your movie, your premiere is your first showing, your
Right.
first
So
day,
that's
first
usually
showing.
a little more expensive. That's
So,
why I say like premiere,
well,
$25.
it's not the you a
Some
premiere
people
for
be
any movie
charging
is
way
usually
more
the
than that.
same price for a regular movie. But I'm talking, so if you're doing a dress up red carpet event, I can see $20, $25. But don't
Right.
show a 30-minute, 20-minute movie either, unless you got a slot of films with other people that you're doing this showcase with. And see, that's where I said I see that happen a lot around, even here in the DMV. I see it in Texas. I see people
Dallas. It
do it. Yeah.
happened in
And
Dallas. It's
and you
everywhere.
got a 20-minute, 30-minute film, and people have spent $20, $25 to come see it. And that's really your friends. Because real moviegoers are like, wait a second, that's nothing. And you gonna give me 30. I can go see a whole movie for that much.
And a lot of
So
times they don't tell you it's a short. Like I've been to just random premieres and it
mhm.
won't say it's a short or a feature. It'll just say a premiere of this movie. And I'll say, let me go support somebody that I don't know, have no idea who these people are. Let me just,
Mhm.
and then you get there and it's like 10 minutes. And you're like, okay.
And you note that, and you're like, okay, I want to come to another one. So, that's why I say filmmakers need to network with each other and build the relationship, because what you should have did is if you got a 20, 30-minute film, you find somebody else with a 15 to 20 and another person, and y'all cut the cost together
Absolutely.
and you
And you have a
premiere it.
bigger audience and
And
you gain more audience because you gain everybody's audience, they gain yours.
right. And I've always said that. And so um that's where I'm like, hey, or you cut your costs by, and we had this discussion when we had our group thing. We need to figure out when that Zoom thing's gonna happen. Because I just realized it's like the end of the month almost. Uh, so when we had a discussion, remember I said to them, I said, if you have a feature, what you do is you compile trailers from other filmmakers to play in front of your feature,
Right.
just like Disney and the rest of them do with their movies. But you don't use their movies, you use your independent film network and you showcase their trailers. And what they do is they pay X amount for you to run their trailers in front, and y'all do it for each other. $50 is $50, but let me tell you, that helps cover the theater costs and bring down some. So if you can get roughly, and you tell them, you listen, I'll give you for $50, you can only do a 30-second. For $100, you can get 2 minutes or a minute and a half. And then for this amount, you can do this. And then that helps cover the cost. Just like what magazines have advertising,
Mhm.
that covers the cost to keep the cost of the magazine printing and sales down. Um, so we have to think like that. That's where if we build that relationship with AMC or Regal, that they show more independent films, because they need to fill seats over a longer period of time, because today's movies are too long for them. So they got to put them in multiple theaters, which means they can only run, let's say if the next Marvel movie's 3 hours long,
Yep. Yep.
they can only run it maybe 3 times in that theater, because that's right there is 9 hours. The movie theater ain't really open for 12 hours. It might, well, close. Last showing
Okay,
might
you
be
can own,
midnight.
and then you got to have the cleaning time in the middle and time to get people in.
And let
So
people,
you're
yeah.
basically you're barely running two of them. You're exactly right.
So, and then you got to open up multiple other theaters to show the same movie, which
That's
is
right.
taking up space where you're losing money. So if we did that, if they did it with more independent films that range between 72 to 90 minutes, don't even hit the 2 hour mark, but can get close. Um, hour 45 minutes, they can show multiple movies of that movie. And you're both reaping the benefits of those ticket sales. And that's what you really want. That's what that's where I say that's the model theaters should be going for, is, hey, let's support that independent film community, because we're losing money on these blockbusters. We keep them
Right.
because that's going to draw people. But when they come in, we got these independent movies, we got their posters up.
But
You
you know,
start building that relationship.
some of the AMC's and Regals do have independent films.
Mm-hmm.
So because I'll look at one of the theaters and I'll see a film, independent film. Like, of course, it's at the bottom. You got to go down to the bottom, and then you'd be like, oh, an independent film showing at 7:15 tonight. So
But
some of
if
them
they
do,
but if they really back it and
but
give
if
it
they
the
really,
showings, the multiple showings,
yes,
just as a normal movie, it helps. And it'll
they
probably,
should,
and if you can
they
split
should.
now, you can really split those ticket costs, which I would push now. So, because if you're thinking about, if you're selling tickets at, let's just say you're roughly selling tickets at um, $10, $15 or $15 to
Hmm.
$20 range for those anyway. But now you're splitting that cost between the theater and the theater's giving you a cheaper cost to four-wall it also, and which helps again with those trailers in the beginning. And if you do it where you're at the theater on certain days where people get to meet the director.
Like a meet and greet. That's a really good idea. You need to tell them, write them a letter. That's brilliant. Because like you said, and then of course to be eligible for Oscar, you only need 1 week run at 7-day run in the theater. But anyway, not just because of research. Listen, guys, I have the whole new position that I'm revealing. So y'all get ready. If you need me, hit me up. We'll talk about it. But I have a whole different position that I
Mhm.
am doing for productions that was just confirmed yesterday. So, and you guys are going to be excited about it. I
Oh
hope. I'm
yeah.
excited. I'm
All
excited.
right. So let's dive
Uh-huh.
into dun dun dun. Okay, can I do that? The dun 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 thing, is that work? Nah, nah, nah.
And we're diving.
Nah, not
We're
for that
diving.
movie.
We're diving. We're diving. We're diving.
Hold up, I gotta
Eh.
play this one.
Nominees for Best Actress.
But we gotta say best
Nominees for
actor
Best Actress
because
are
let me tell you, if you saw this movie like y'all should have, boom. So the Black History Month or the Black movies of the month, but to this week, this Saturday, starting to round out in February, is an oldie but goodie, and you pretty seen everybody in it. Boom, A Soldier Story. So Soldier Story, directed by Norman Jewison, written by Charles Fuller. The screenplay and the actual play were written by Charles Fuller. Executive producer, Charles Schultz, Patrick Palmer, and Ronald Shrevi were the producers. I want to make sure I said that right? And the music was by Herbie Hancock, but you also had other music performed by Patti LaBelle as well. And that some of that music was time given. But it's interesting that the director of Moonstruck, which had Cher in it, directed this film. And I'm gonna tell you, this was actually cinematically good, and it's a good story. It's a good story. It's a crime drama mystery, and the one version we're looking at is 1984. I know they are re-releasing it on Broadway in the plays.
It's already, it
Yeah.
comes like here in April. Like it's already on Broadway across America.
Mm-hmm. So
It's
you
already
guys can
touring.
see it. Yeah, and its running time is 1 hour and 41 minutes. So I think you got tickets already, TK, right?
To the play?
Yeah.
No, not yet. I want to go see Tina next week, but we'll see what happens.
Tina
We'll see
who?
what happens. Tina is on Broad. Tina's got released
Okay.
on Broadway right before COVID, and they had to shut it down. So, but now it's up on Broadway across America and Broadway.
Got you. All right. So here's the cast, the ensemble that made up this story. They did an excellent job. Adolph Caesar played Sergeant Vernon Walters. I knew man at the Cafe Napoleon. Like that, right? Yo, I mean, Sergeant Walters, you was like, you love him and hate him at the same time because you can understand what he's saying or where he's coming from, but his perspective is still skewed and
Yes.
making him the villain because of his approach and how he handles his own people. It's almost like a Captain Ruckus. I mean, yeah, Ruckus from Boondocks meeting Killmonger type of thing. Like he has a point on what he's trying to say for our people and advancement, but his realization, and that tends to tear him apart in this film. Howard E. Rollins Jr. plays Captain Davenport, which, everybody was happy when Captain stepped in. There's a black captain. Oh man.
Right. And they didn't even and here's the thing. They didn't even say it. We saw the reaction when which one was
Robert Townsend's character.
When Robert Townsend's character picked him up
Corporal Ellis
from the bus, he didn't even have to say that he wasn't used to seeing a black captain. He didn't have to say anything. His reaction.
And he was happy too. He was like, "Sir, we're just happy you're here."
Yeah, but when he first seen him, he was like, "Captain Davenport," he didn't have to say anything. It was just his reaction to that captain. I wanna share some shots that I took of the but go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, so they did a shout out to Howard University because that's where Captain Davenport went in the film. So that was good because they sent him from DC to Louisiana. So this takes place in Louisiana right during World War II. While it's happening, they can't, of course, like all black films where there's soldiers during World War II, they can't go fight at first. They're stuck doing the mediocre jobs in this film. They play for their baseball team, their Negro baseball team. And they've been trying to win so that they can play against the New York Yankees. So if they won, and the crazy thing is they only show some of the baseball stuff, but they let you know they didn't win the tournament because they protested against Sergeant Waters because of what happens to C.J. Memphis, played by Larry Wiley. And then you got Art Evans, who plays Private Wilkie. Then you have David Allen Greer, who played Corporal Cobb. And again, we mentioned Robert Townsend playing Corporal Ellis. Denzel Washington plays Private First Class Peterson. William Allen Young from Moesha, the dad, plays Private Henderson. And of course, Patti LaBelle plays Big Mary. So those were the main characters of the film that you saw. There was more characters that were very prevalent. And we just sharing that right there. So TK, what was your take?
Well, the funny thing is I kept feeling like Chadwick Boseman was in this movie. I kept feeling like he was in the movie. I was just like, why does his spirit ring from this movie? I kid you not. That was interesting to me. And my take on the movie, because it was good. The storyline and how they ran the storyline was good, because I was like, them white people didn't kill this man, and this is not white people saying it like that, but because it was they were in a racist town and stuff, and I was like, and then they were like, oh, it was the Saudis. It was 1984. Sorry for the spoilers. But it was like, oh yeah, and now it was the things, the two officers, the two white officers, and then they were like, oh, they didn't issue guns. I mean bullets. I was like, who had the bullets? You know what I mean? So it was like, it was only really the people good.
Guarding the guards.
Yeah, it was really
bullets.
Good with the plot twist where they led you, kind of like what's the other movie we just watched? Kind of like we had a lot of plot twists. I can't remember. But anyway, this particular, them having all these plot twists like that was really good. That was really good because it really had you going a certain way. Like you really was like, see, they don't want him because they think it's somebody white. And so they ain't gonna get charged. So they keep trying to send him back to Washington. So, and watch him be somebody white. He's like, let me do my job. I mean, it was, like, okay, let him do his job. So you were rooting for him to get the people that you thought were probably white that probably killed him. Just so you can show it to the white officers that he could do his job. And it don't matter if it's the white KKK in the neighborhood or whoever that killed him, he's going to get the job done. And we were rooting for him the whole time. And then they just kept taking those twists.
Yeah. Because the stories when they were telling them were believable. You were feeling them. They were kind of slightly being honest and dishonest at the same time because they were telling you enough.
Yeah.
And then they're telling him, hey, they liked him, but they didn't like him, his ways and stuff like that. So it was interesting. It was a good story. Like, for it to have been a play, and that's the thing, putting plays on the big screen isn't easy,
Right.
right? Because of how you do a play. Some people write plays where, they know their staging and setup doesn't change as much. And, it's like this one you felt was a movie, right?
Right. Absolutely.
It didn't feel like the play. It felt like the movie, like a Raising a Son. And so they felt like the movie. It was, what was the one Denzel did? Fences. Unfortunately, Fences was really good, but it still felt like a play.
Because it was dialogue heavy. It was
Right.
extremely this was not dialogue heavy at all. So that's what helped it flow and feel like a movie versus a play also, because it wasn't dialogue heavy.
Right. It was structured. He rewrote it to structure it as a screenplay versus a play. So he knew what to make the changes and how to do. Because again, for a play, you show the stuff, but it is dialogue heavy and it's based on numbers when they're singing and stuff. The singing, that's taken out sometimes or lessened. It has to make sense to the film. And so what was interesting, what kind of stood out on the music side was Herbie Hancock. His music that was the only thing it kind of felt out of place. It felt time period for the 80s, but it didn't feel like it should have been going on in 1944.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It didn't feel like it belonged there. So that was kind of, it was that music you would hear if you were watching in the heat of the night or something. It just felt jazzed up, but didn't feel like it belonged during that time period with the electronic instruments as well. So yeah, this is one of them scenes right here, because when you're introduced, so the way they introduced the characters and the situation was actually flowed very well paced. I wasn't looking at time as I was watching this.
Because they drew you into the story, and then they literally drew you into the story they took the situation, and as they told the story, they drew you into the story. It's kind of, I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah. They drew us in and then we literally was talking to each one of the, as he was interviewing each one of the soldiers, they were drawing. So we already drawn into that story. And then when the soldier started telling his side, then it drew us deeper into the story. So it was a depthness, that it was levels of depth of storytelling that this particular movie took us into.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And that was a great technique from the writing for sure.
Yeah. So here's another scene. And it had a lot of depth to it. I will say that it was just, because I'm gonna tell you the mystery, man. When that gun was under CJ's bed, I was like, how did he get there? No one told you how this got there. And they said, somebody came through here though. I know that. And then you're like, well, who? Because we didn't see it. We didn't see who planted the gun.
And that's what I always say that to screenwriters, because we didn't see who planted the gun. It was fine, because you have two choices. You can let the audience know what's going on, or and the character not, or you can reveal to the audience and the character at the same time. And that's what happened in this particular situation. But for some reason, I have to tell my clients, guys, you don't have to dumb down everything. We don't have to show that. So I always ask them, do you want this to be a surprise for the character or the surprise for the audience and the character? And so with the gun, they did audience and character, because all we know is the gun was there, but we didn't believe CJ did it either, because we know CJ. We love CJ. Right. You've already pulled the audience into loving these characters. So when they talked about the gun and all that stuff and doing the shooting, we were like, now we all know that wasn't CJ. We all know.
I think we should focus on more so revealing us being getting reveals. I know people like to foreshadow a lot, right? But I think sometimes it's important that we reveal when the character gets revealed, because now we're more
Absolutely.
invested, right? We're like, wait a second, and then we get more, this movie is much older, but like today's movie, I think we give too much or we show too much.
We do. And that's what I keep telling my clients. Quit dumbing down and telling every single thing. Law abiding citizen. I got the DVD, printed the script and everything after I seen that. That was a great movie of a reveal. Like, it was a slow burn reveal, and it had us all caught up. We were on the edge of our seat. Cars blowing up, people dying, the whole city on lockdown. Like, we scared as hell. Like, what is going on?
And you try to figure out how he,
And
he's getting out of prison, but you don't know how he's getting out.
Every time they show the person who was doing it, they revealed, like, hold on, let me get into the screen. They revealed like, okay, hold on, let me do it this way. So it was kind of like this. So hold on. Okay, so it was kind of like the character was behind this tablet, and then all of a sudden it was like, then 3 scenes later, then 3 more scenes later. You know what I mean? Then 4 scenes later, and then all of a sudden, at a certain point, you see the whole person. It was
right.
Like,
you see that he's been getting out of prison because you're. And I think that's what it is. It's like we kind of, even because it was that show that came on about the black wealthy family and the girl. Yep, you're like, you already knew watching the first couple episodes. Oh, that's her dad. Oh, that's
one
her
of a kind.
And, yeah, and you were like, it was moving too fast, and they told you everything up right away, and you're like, I'm not invested. I stopped watching in episode 4 or something like that. I wasn't invested. I already knew what was going to happen. I knew the guy worked for him. I knew it's like you just knew too much. He went to his
ex-wife, and the first conversation he had with the ex-wife, "I'm your ex-wife." Like, the first conversation, like, we didn't even get to like.
Yeah, and so I felt like that's dangerous, with writing, because people with mysteries, with dramas that have twists, we don't want to know the twist that's coming until it gets there. And I think this did that, for the time. I remember seeing it when I was younger, but it's been such a long time, but you didn't see the twist until you got there. And because you were like, yeah, I remember the white cops. It was something, because I remembered, I haven't seen it in such a long time. I was like, yeah, I remember it had to do with those white officers, and I think they had something to do with it. But then I remembered, oh yeah, Denzel's the bad guy. He's not a bad guy, but I remember, like, oh, he's not the hero in this,
Yeah,
and,
when they said, yeah, that was it. That was that one line. They didn't issue bullets to anybody but MPs and such and such. I was like,
guardsmen, yeah, and they were guarding.
Wait a minute, the bridge.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a minute. So yeah, but go ahead and show the picture. I want to show some pictures from the cinematography that I literally stopped the movie.
So these are some of the scenes. Like I said, the cinematography is really good. And you know what? Those movies done back in the 80s and 70s, today watching them, cinematically, the coloring matches time period.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? It feels like it belongs during that time. So when you're watching the film, you don't see that it's it's grainy and stuff. It should feel that way. Here you go. I'm telling you, he wore them sunglasses. The guy was like, "Can you take the sunglasses?" I said, "No, I like them."
But in the end, the funny thing is that you notice in the end, the guy was wearing the sunglasses.
Yeah, stuck on my hand.
So that was funny. So
yeah,
I wonder what the messaging was, that because he had his sunglasses on at first, and then the other captain, the white captain, had his sunglasses on last. So, and then he didn't have any sunglasses on. So I wonder what that was.
You're learning from each other. You're two separate. You're from two different sides of something, good. And you're learning from each other. Having a slight understanding and respect for each other. Right. Because he's like, MacArthur wears his, I'm gonna wear mine.
Yeah. So when he had his glasses on, then I was like, oh, okay. So that was good.
And, you know, to see them like this, the lighting, it was really good. When the dark stuff happened, like you see in the bottom shot there of them talking about CJ, he's telling him the story of CJ. He's telling him how in Germany they would have had a black soldier put a monkey's tail on him and run around. And, you know, that's that dark depth that you're getting. And initially everything seems bright, colorful, cheerful. It feels like a fun film with the murder involved, but you're getting the bright side of characters. But as it progresses, you really are getting the darkness that this Sarge had. Adolf did his thing.
Yeah, you
He
saw.
was a
I
good actor.
tagged that in the Black Filmmakers Lounge community
Yeah.
where they had said he got that nomination.
He did his thing.
Yeah.
So I got all right. I'm gonna tell y'all something. There's this group back in the day I used to listen to. Well, you know, called Ready for the World. And
you used to listen to.
Now, Rollins Jr. reminds me of the lead singer from Ready for the World.
Oh, she.
Yes, and every time I would see him, I'd be like, "Are those guys brothers?" Because I'd just be like, if he had a Jerry curl and he started singing "Oh Sheila," or look at him, I'm serious. I was like, they look like they could be brothers. Yeah.
Love you down.
I was like, let me find out those guys are really brothers. They related something, but they look a lot alike. It used to get me back in the day. It was like, wait, is that the guy from Ready for the World? Because he did Night Beyond. Be like, wait, is that the? You know, my brother like, no, man. All right, so as you can see, I don't know how that got covered, but it's all right. There was a fight scene. You'll see they were boxing, and they were like, Sarge fight dirty. You might not want to fight him, Peterson.
And he whooped his butt too. He was like, I'm gonna get his old tail.
Yeah.
Rollins whooped his butt. I mean, Wilkie whooped his butt.
Lesson. Yeah. And so it was so cinematically, like I said, it was really good.
Look at that 5-shot. That was a good 5-shot right there.
Yeah, that, you know what? So back in the day, there's a movie called Full Metal Jacket that came out a little bit later.
Right. This
reminds me of that. It's like the people who did Full Metal Jacket watched this movie. And this started making me think about some of the other movies, The Walking Dead, where the black soldiers with Alan Payne, if I can remember everybody's name off the top, but it was a lot of people in it. That was a good movie about soldiers. They were Marines in Vietnam. So there you go. Like I said, Herbie Hancock did the music scoring within the film.
And that picture, I love that picture. For some reason,
when he walks in that room, when he walks in there and sees nothing there. Yeah, Eddie Griffin was in it too. Yep. Thank you, Thaddeus. What's up?
Eddie Griffin was in it. Hey, Thaddeus.
He was not in this one. He was in The Walking Dead with Alan Payne and Joe Morton was the other one. Because he was there, the one in charge. Joe Morton was the man in charge for the group. But so yeah, this is the soldier story. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I will say it is a good way to see how a play transitions to a film and how it is thematic. It not theatrical in a sense of theater, but theatrical as in movie. It really feels like a movie. It flows like a movie. I can show you better than I can tell you is really put in this film. So the script is well written for the movie.
Absolutely. And can I show these shots?
Yeah,
really
I'm about
quick?
to put you on the 2-shot, or you want me to do the TK shot?
Do the hold on, I'm gonna take do the TK shot and I'm gonna show you.
All right, let me get the TK shot. Let me pull in the TK shot. Boom, there's the TK shot.
There's a TK shot. Okay, I thought I shared it already. Hold on. I'll stop sharing. Okay, hold on.
Oh, you want me to get you where you're sharing?
Wait, no, this is, can y'all see this? Can you see this?
No, but I can go to it. Give me a second. I can. Boom. There you go.
Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this was one. So these are the shots that I took. Of course, y'all know I got my director's hat on.
POV.
So this is one. So I took 5 shots. I think it's 4, but it's really, so this was one of them. When they walked into the officers club and they were shooting pool,
Mhm.
they didn't show him walking into the officers club and shooting pool. This is the shot they started the scene with.
Okay.
So I thought that, and he hit the ball. So I thought that was nice. I thought this shot right here. This is a dirty. It's really a dirty. It's a dirty 2 shot. It's really a dirty 2 shot because you have CJ blurred in the background. You have the bartender, and then the scene is actually of Wilkie and
Sarge.
Sarge. Yeah. So that I thought was a very, very nice shot. And then there was a 2 shot, a dirty 2 shot. Yeah, it is 4. So then there was a dirty, this one right here. Because then it started channeling in on how he felt when he was talking about CJ.
Yeah.
And he was talking about CJ, and instead of showing like a flashback, we just have the blur of CJ in the back.
Why he's telling a story.
Why he's telling the story. And then the other one was this shot. So this particular shot and how the rain was reflecting off of his face, I thought that was a very nice shot. I was like, oh, that's nice. And I'm literally working with
now that's a shot of me, but we're gonna go back to
that shot of him. So I was literally working with this DP this week on another set. I'm not working with him, but guys, this guy, I don't know where he's from. His name is Adam. He might be joining us today. I talked to him yesterday and I was telling him about the Black Filmmakers Lounge and stuff. Guys, he literally is doing a shot of a bedroom where they're just sitting up in the bed. And he's like, say, do y'all have a glass? Like, what kind of glass? He's like, a glass. And he takes this glass and he puts like a little liquid in it to make it look like wine or something. Then he puts lipstick on the rim and then he takes the glass. Yeah, I'm telling the secret if you're on here. He takes the glass and he sits it on the camera. So he focused clear on the glass, right? With them in the blur in the background, and then he switched the focus. But he's done some other stuff
rack
too.
Focus. He went from the focus of the glass to the focus of the people, which is a rack focus.
But he was just sitting there doing the shot. He's like, hey, y'all got a glass? Like his mind, like screenwriting. That's how his mind was working. Like when we think of the story for screenwriting and different elements to the story, that's what he was doing with the camera. And to watch him work this week has been nothing short of amazing. He is doing, so it's a rack shot. Now I know the terminology. Listen, guys, this DP is extremely creative, and we had a lot of glitches this week. And for him to still come out with these amazing shots in the midst of all these glitches, you're not going to be able to tell in the movie what was changed, what was different, nothing. I mean, it looks so freaking good. I'm
that's
literally
what a DP does.
I'm like this. I'm looking off in the thing like, oh, like watching the monitor, and I'm like, oh my God, look at that. Oh, like I told him, I said, you are doing some amazing work. Like it is a pleasure watching him in his zone. It really is. So that's all I got to say about the shots.
No, I mean, and that's what like I was saying, that's what a DP does. Like when you work with a DP, you're telling the DP the look, the style. That's why you make a lookbook, right? You do your lookbook, you tell them the style you're looking for. And yeah.
Oh no, I have stuff in my head, but I forgot.
I should add that in there. I need to see in a planner. I need to add the lookbook. And break down the lookbook.
We need to talk about that insurance thing because I have.
Okay. Yeah,
I gotta find out one more thing, but yes.
So that's the thing, because when you're sitting down, you're meeting, you're coming up with your lookbook, what your film looks like. You don't just have a storyboard, because your DP wants to know your lighting. He wants to know, what are you going for? And you usually pick some movies that resemble the style that you're looking for your film. If you're doing a comedy, romance, you're going to look at something like Deliver Us from Eva. And if you're looking for a dramatic romance, not a romance comedy, but a romantic film, that has drama in it, you're looking at Love Jones, right? And you got this depth of darkness that Love Jones has with this lighting. If a lot of scenes are taking place in the evening or at night, an apartment, you have, and that's the thing, you want to plan those things out. You find the movies that resemble the style you're going for, and you sit with your DP and you plot it out. You do something simple as plan out what your people are wearing in a scene. Why is that important? You know, if I'm telling a love story and my character's in love, I might use reds and purples. If it's a friendly type of thing, I might use yellows. If the characters are drab and drear or dark, grays and blacks. If you know the how your character feels and the emotion they have is also in how what they're wearing, in the setting too, the lights and what's around in the room, what colors are there, roses in the room, are the roses dead in the room, you know.
Call
It
me
does
Darrell.
that
Look,
matters.
he said I love doing lookbooks. Call me Darrell. Crazy enough, crazy enough, you guys know I've been in pre-production. I have every freaking thing laid out, from COVID quote to insurance quote to CPA to the Lord. Like, everything is laid out. The lookbook that you guys are talking about, I forgot about that, but that's why God gives me step by step. I lock
Mhm.
down locations. Like, I got to go visit a location in like a couple of minutes. Literally everything you're saying is, I have it written down in notes, like wardrobe notes and this and that. Lighting, the grid, like the wardrobe, all of that's written down. What you guys are saying, the comparison movie, how I want this movie to look like, all of that, I have all of that. It's just not in one place. Like, it's not in one document, but I can tell you the lighting at the house and the club are the same. I can tell you the lighting at this place and this place is the same. I want the grit like bruised at the beginning. Like
Mhm.
every time she's in the house, I want a little grit to it, but not too much where it throws the whole movie off. So we got to figure that out. But the wardrobe, I already know what she's wearing. I already know what he's wearing, the type of clothes he's wearing. I already know exactly what Sharon wears. Like, I know everything. I just don't have it in a look book, but I know I have all of that.
Well, yeah, no. I mean, the lookbook
So
is for
now I got to
you
do
and
a
the
lookbook.
people to go through it and then say, okay, this is what we're going for in
Yeah,
style.
that's
This
why I
is the
say now I need to put it
emotional
in a
feel of the
lookbook.
movie. This is what we're trying to bring alive. And so it's kind of, is it necessary for everybody? No. I mean, but if it works for you, because again, you're going to do a storyboard, if you have a storyboard. Um, if you don't have a storyboard, you got a shot list. But I like the storyboard sometimes because the storyboard gives you that visual perspective of what's going on in the scene. Um,
Hmm.
you
I
know,
need a template. Can somebody send me a template? TK Henderson underscore. I mean, what's my email address? TK underscore Henderson at yahoo.com. Can somebody send me a template? But yeah, I have all of that. I literally have all of that written down, and then some couple of the lighting cues I have in my head.
yeah, because
Like
I have a
the darkness into books.
digital lookbook for, remember, Forehead Cases, Perfect Woman, the dinner party.
Hmm.
I have a digital lookbook for that. And even the characters, like the people I would like to play certain characters. Like I have whoever would play Genius, the main character. Um, who there's two actors that I look at, but they'd bring two different styles to it, so that those actors shape how I flow with the story. Um, Same thing with the best friend and the ex girlfriends.
Hmm.
So I have the actors laid out kind of, and then I have what they would be wearing, the type of
See,
how they
yeah,
would
and I
dress in their
have
style, right?
all of that. Hmm.
Um, and because that tells us who this character is, how they dress, how they present themselves, um, their not just their actions that does it, but again, when we first see a character, we're like, I know who that one is, like so that's it, TK, we thank you guys for joining us today. TK, what is your 60-second jewel?
I was just thinking of that. My 60-second gem is going to be start saving your money for this Black Filmmakers Lounge planner by Michael E. Melvin that is about to drop. Guys, go ahead and start putting your Starbucks money to the side because
Thank
you
you.
are going to need this. You're going to appreciate it. It's at 216 pages. I think by the time we finish, it's going to be a few more pages.
It's actually it's at 240 something, 244,
240. Okay, and you got to
246.
add the lookbook
Yeah.
and one more thing about the insurance, and they're telling us. So, guys, start putting your Starbucks money to the side because once it drops, I'm telling you, I have seen it. I have been able to view it, view the drafts of it, and I'm telling you guys, go ahead, and then you'll be able to tell other people about it. But it's going to be amazing. So go ahead and start putting your Starbucks money to the side for real. You can thank me later. Nope, I don't need any gifts or anything. You could just say, TK, you were right. Thank you. That's all I need. That's all I need. And thank you, Michael Melvin, for creating this masterpiece because it is phenomenal, guys.
I appreciate it.
And I don't say that lightly at all. It is phenomenal. I was like, you did all of this? Like,
because I was thinking about what people were calling me all the time and asking me. And then what I lacked in when I first started, what I didn't know and what I wish I did know. And so there's some checklists in there, kind of really help you guys out. So yeah. So my 60-second jewel is simple. It's not even 60 seconds. It's study. Study.
That's it.
I say this every time, but throughout the year, study. Mm-hmm. We've been examining films this month. And let me tell you, I've had a much greater perspective sitting down and watching these films in a manner of studying them, breaking down and asking the question, why did the director choose this? Why did he have this cinematographer get this shot this way? What did it do for the story? What does this scene do to push the story? Examine films, read some books. We were trying to do a book club at one point so that we could read books together and to have a discussion because it's very important that we do that. I meet too many filmmakers that don't want to study. They just want to pick up a camera and run. And it's don't just watch the movie, watch the behind the scenes, watch the commentary, listen to the commentary, watch the commentary videos, watch when I watched the making of Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I'm like, wow, they did a lot of practical effects. So get that going. Study, get with a group, network. So we're going to say this. We love you guys. We appreciate you guys. We had a wonderful time hanging out, talking today.
Plug the wrong thing.
What's the next? Do we have a next movie for next week? We got a movie for next week. TK? Uh-oh. TK dropped out. All right, so we'll post, if we come up with a movie for next week, we will post the poster on the Black Filmmakers Lounge. That's what we're going to do. All right, so thank you for joining us here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge. I'm your host, Michael Melvin. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Let's get TK in there because I know she's getting ready to go.
I was trying to unplug my charger, and then I was like, oh, let me unplug this, and I forgot that was the internet because I'm hardwired in. But anyway, yes, I got to go. So, but thank you guys for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again next week.
Is there a movie for next week? That was the question I had asked you when you were dropping out.
A movie for next week. Oh, you know what? One of our community people, family members actually recommended Ragtime. So you want to do is that? So you want to watch that?
Yeah, I watch Ragtime. You talk about Ragtime.
Let's see if we can find it.
Yeah, we got to find it. So yeah, we do Ragtime.
I hope it's a fun film because we've been doing
some serious stuff. I was thinking we probably need to focus on a comedy or something.
Yeah, let's focus on a comedy.
Don't talk about.
Let's come up with something and we'll put it in the community page because I got 7 minutes to be in this.
We got to go. All right, so
we'll put it in the community page. Or if y'all have any suggestions, hit us on the community page, but we'll decide by today because I need to watch it today.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us here at the Black Filmmakers Lounge, Saturday morning indie industry shop talk. We're your hosts, Michael and TK Anderson, Michael Melvin and TK Anderson. We We try to rush to get up off here because TK got something to do. But the Black Filmmakers Lounge is where interdependent filmmakers, whether novelists or professionals, can come together to gain insight, perspective through education, information, networking, and to discuss industry best practices that will advance the Black independent film community or Black interdependent film community. We like to thank and appreciate you guys. We are creating our own space so that we can succeed together. So thank you for joining us. Like, subscribe, share, join our YouTube page, help build that up. Hey, I got a challenge. If we can hit 250 members on the Black Filmmakers Lounge YouTube channel with conversation, talking, everything, we'll send out a book to 100, 200, and the 50.
Oh,
We'll do it like that. We'll send, so that's 3 books we will send out to you guys. I'm not talking about the planner. I'm talking about film books. So we can do a script book and some other stuff. But we'll let you know. And if we get to 500, we'll do another 2 books. All right, that'll be 5 books total. 100, each one at 100. I think that would be nice. All right, so we love you guys. We appreciate y'all. Have a blessed and wonderful weekend. Be safe, and we out. Peace.
Like, subscribe, share. Bye. All right.